Good evening, Queens. I hope you all had a great 4th of July weekend. I hope you all are well rested. I know I am. I wanted to get on here to talk about how I got a credit score of 811. I started out young. I have a big sister who is 12 years older than me. She had already been in college, had already graduated, and she had her experience with credit card debt. So she encouraged me not to get a bunch of credit cards and splurge. And I listened to her. I took her advice. And along the way, when I did get credit cards, I started to learn how to use them. So back in 2006, when I started college, my freshman year, there were banks on the campus promoting extra large pizzas from Papa John's if you applied for their loans, for their credit cards, the line of credit. And I was like, nope. That little voice in my head, which was my sister, she said, no, you better not do that. So I didn't want to do it anyway because I was afraid based off of her stories in which she told me about credit because I didn't know enough at the time. So my sophomore year, I missed out on a loan, a grant for financial aid. So I winded up having to take out a loan. I think I took out like $5,000 because I had to, and I only needed it for one semester, I believe. Or 2 semesters. No, I think it was $3,000. I only needed for one semester. And I financed what? $5,000 from them. So, or took out $5,000 because I needed it. So what I wound up doing when they, would send the refund checks is I would send them back, void them out. I wouldn't use them. So I was very disciplined. I knew not to, that's not my money. You don't want to pay back this and plus interest. So I just paid them monthly as I was in college. And then the next year, I got a refund check because I did eventually get my grant. And what I did was I just put the money, a big lump sum of money on the loan and took it from there. Like it was a lot of sacrificing because it's like, oh, I'm young. I want to buy some clothes. I want to do this. But I knew not to do that. So when I got into my junior year, I had my second credit card because I had my first credit card when I was in my sophomore year. There was only a $100 limit. And it was $25 a month to pay. And I'm like, I'm not going over that $100. So then I got my second one by the time I was in my junior year. And my senior year, I wound up actually using it. And I splurged on it. But I had a job and I knew to pay it monthly, and I had just graduated from college. So I was excited and I wanted to look good. My sister was like, go ahead. So that's what I did. And that's what I did. So after that, I left my mom's house at 25. I was still paying that off. It was about $800. After that, I wanted new furniture in my house. So I financed furniture. And I'm like, you know what? When can I pay this off? So I always had a plan, and I knew that I was going to pay it off within the next 5 months because I used the income tax. Okay, let me just go ahead and drop this money off on this. Like, I just would not spend my money on other things but what I needed to spend it on. And I made sure I paid my monthly payments. And my debt to income ratio, I never went over what I made. That's another thing that's important. And I never used over 50% of the credit card because that's going to bring your credit score down. So by the time I got 26, 27, I had another credit card to a bank, and I would use it here and there and just pay it off. Use it here and there, pay it off, just to use it and keep that revolving credit. And then when I was buying my house, my credit score was about 676. I was 26 with that credit score. It was 767. And I'm like, oh my gosh, it was impeccable. So by that time, I had paid off the furniture. I paid off those other credit cards that I had. And I was really disciplined. So when I bought my house at 27, I had to finance appliances. And then after that, I had to finance a new roof, which was 2 years later down the line. And here we are recently, I paid everything off. So I would do it year by year. And I would just put lump sums of money on, from everybody gets a tax check. Well, not everybody, but some people get income taxes. And that's what you do. Instead of splurging money, just put it down on your bills, because in the long run, you're going to be paying more than what you financed or what you took out of that loan or that credit card because of the interest. And you don't want to do that. So it's best to just go ahead and sacrifice and bite the bullet, like, go ahead and pay it off, you know. So that's what I did. And then I kept my car, kept my same car, and I paid that off. I got into an accident, and I went on ahead, used that, paid it off, you know. So I was only left with, you know, my house and a few bills from credit. And recently I just went on ahead. Of course, everyone took advantage of COVID and those checks and just paid off everything. So here I am, credit score is 811. You know, I just had my car in my house, and that's it. It took a lot of discipline, and it took a lot of sacrificing, because it was a sacrifice. I was young. I wanted to buy shoes. I wanted to buy clothes. I wanted to buy different things, and I didn't do that. Instead, I paid off my bills, and I got to where I am. It was really important to me, and also paying my rent on time. I have never been late on any bill since I've been a freshman in college, a sophomore. I have never been late on a bill. So that's another important thing. You want to always pay, even if it's minimum. Just pay it every month if you can, and never use 50% of your credit card. Stay below. If you can even stay at 30%, just stay there, but do not go overboard, and make sure you can pay it off within, I would say, before 10 years, before 7 years. You don't want to have a credit card you're still paying it off 5 years later, because they're going to get more money out of you. So that's how I obtained a credit score of 811. I hope you guys have a great evening. And remember, if I can do it, you can what? You can do it too. Good evening.